Hello and welcome to Week 1. I am glad that you have chosen to take this class and cannot wait to get you started. Each week, I will provide you with some tips and guidelines to help you understand what is required of you for the weekly learning activities. I urge you to review the announcement board on a daily basis. You will find information there that will be helpful. Let us talk about what is required for the discussion responses. You are required to post an initial discussion response each week. The initial discussion response should be posted by Wednesday of each week and should be a minimum of 250 words. The initial discussion response should be your response to the initial discussion prompt. Your initial response should be substantiated by at least one reference, properly APA formatted. Remember, you cannot have a reference list without in-text citations. You are required to post 2 pair responses. Your pair responses should be a minimum of 100 words. Responses should be posted over 3 different days. For example, if you post your initial response on Wednesday, you can post one peer response on Thursday and the other on Friday. You will not receive credit for discussion responses posted after the discussion week ends. All responses are recorded in Central Standard Time, so pay close attention to the time as you prepare your responses. Your peer responses should adhere to the Get in the Zone requirements. Do not post a Get in the Zone response as your initial response. Both responses to your peers should meet the Get in the Zone requirement. Let us discuss Get in the Zone in more detail. You are assigned a Get in the Zone role for each week. Review the chart on the announcement page for your Get in the Zone role. I will be reviewing the chart to ensure you are using the correct zone each week. Your zones will rotate. You are required to post 2 peer responses. Each of these peer responses should be a Get in the Zone response. Your Get in the Zone role should be clearly identified. Type your Get in the Zone role on a line by itself in bold. On a new line, begin your response as per your assigned role for the week. Read the Get in the Zone roles and requirements carefully. If you do not understand what is required of you for each week, you can feel free to ask questions for clarification. Here is an example. Let us assume your role for this week is that of the questioner. Your role as questioner would be to post a response to your peers that relates to other academic concepts, current events, or workplace tasks or processes. Bear in mind that you are not posting questions. You are doing a detailed analysis using the question format. In this role, you will be providing a response that meets or exceeds the minimum participation expectation with a focus on building the discussion beyond the information presented. You will seek to make use of additional concepts and theory to support the line of questioning. When serving in this role, you have to do more than just ask additional questions, as I stated previously. You should be producing an outcome that provides some perspective and academic synthesis, building up to or incorporating your questions. The additional outcomes should be supported by outside sources to substantiate your ideas. Every Tuesday from 4 to 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, we will be holding a Blackboard Collaborate session. This session is for you. You control the outcome of this session. This is where you will have the opportunity to ask questions about the assignments for the week, ask questions about the learning objectives, get clarity, and for other information you need to be successful. The Blackboard Collaborate link can be found at the top of the weekly folder. Click on the link to access the sessions each week. Some of you may not have received your textbook for this class. If you are one of those persons, you will want to conduct internet research in order to respond to the discussion question that is due on Wednesday. Whatever source you use from the internet, you will want to make sure it is properly APA formatted. Not having the textbook should not prevent you from completing the discussion this week. In addition to the discussion, there is a quiz due this week. The quiz is due on Sunday, May 8th. The quiz comprises of multiple choice, true-false, and 2 essay questions. Answer each question. You will not receive credit for unanswered questions. The quiz must be completed the first time it is launched. Do not start the quiz unless you have at least 1 to 2 hours to complete it. You will not have access to the quiz a second time after it was launched. The first essay question asks, in a dispute between Walmart and Target, the court applies the doctrine of stare decisis. Explain this doctrine. Discuss and analyze how this doctrine relates to the American legal system. Here, you will need to discuss what stare decisis is. Discuss within the common law context. When do judges choose to use stare decisis? How did stare decisis emerge? Remember, under this doctrine, judges are obligated to follow the precedents established within their jurisdictions. This helps courts to be more efficient and makes the law more stable and predictable. You will find more information on this concept on pages 5 and 6 of the textbook. Your response to this question should be a minimum of 250 words and should be substantiated by at least 1 reference. This means you will be required to have in-text citations and a reference list for this response. Type your response in Word and then cut and paste the response in the comments box. This will help to ensure accuracy and give you the opportunity to review for spelling and grammatical mistakes. Essay 2. The New Jersey State Legislature enacts a statute that prohibits advertising of Wii games because the games might be harmful to minors. Despite this new statute, the president of GamesBox orders GamesBox marketers to place ads in various media. When a GamesBox ad appears on MCG TV, a local television station, GamesBox and MCG TV are charged with violating the statute. Explain the defendant's best defense against a conviction. Here, you will need to start your response by stating whether GamesBox and MCG TV can be convicted because of the state legislatures. No maybes. Either they can be convicted or they cannot be convicted. After making this statement, then comes the analysis. Here, you will need to have a discussion about the First Amendment and commercial speech. Explain what commercial speech is and how it applies to this particular situation. For example, to protect consumers, a state may ban certain kinds of marketing practices, such as deceptive or misleading advertising. Generally, a restriction on commercial speech will be considered valid as long as it 1. Seeks to implement a substantial government interest, 2. Directly advances that interest, and 3. Goes no further than necessary to accomplish the objective. Based on this example, is the ban by the New Jersey State Legislature too restrictive? Does it go too far in attempting to protect minors? Be careful. Do not allow your personal opinions to interject here. Your response should be based on the law. See pages 17 and 18 of the textbook for additional information. I wish you the best of luck this week. If you have any questions, feel free to contact me.